Explanation: what is an e-visa for South Africa and what is the difference between it and a normal visa? What is an e-visa? An e-visa is an electronic visa that allows travelers to enter a country without the need for a physical visa sticker or stamp on their passport. It is an alternative to traditional visa applications, which are processed by embassies, consulates, or diplomatic missions, and typically take longer to obtain. The e-visa is a digital document that is linked to the traveler's passport, and it is typically obtained through an online application process. The application process for an e-visa is generally more convenient and quicker than traditional visa applications, as it can be completed from anywhere with an internet connection. These digital visas are often issued for tourist, business, or short-term stays and typically have a limited validity period. The requirements for obtaining the digital visa vary per country but typically include passport details, personal information, and financial information. Travelers may also need to provide proof of sufficient funds for their stay. Overall, the e-visa system is designed to make the visa application process more efficient, faster, and convenient for travelers, while also providing a secure and streamlined method for governments to manage immigration. Need to apply for a temporary residence visa? These are the different South Africa visa types you can apply for. Importance of an e-visa for travel to South Africa. An e-visa is an important tool for travelers to South Africa, as it offers several benefits that make the visa application process more efficient and convenient. With an e-visa, travelers can apply for their visa from the comfort of their own home or office, without the need to visit an embassy, consulate, or diplomatic mission. The online process is also faster and more efficient than traditional visa applications, with a quicker processing time and reduced wait time. Additionally, the e-visa eliminates the risk of lost or damaged visa stickers or passports, as it is linked to the foreigner's passport electronically. Overall, obtaining an e-visa for South Africa is a simple and hassle-free way for travelers to ensure their visa needs are taken care of before the trip. Eligibility requirements for obtaining an e-visa for South Africa. Certain countries have been introduced to the system, and the government are slowly adding to the list of countries. To be eligible, travelers must meet certain requirements set by the Department of Home Affairs. These requirements include, but are not limited to, passport. Foreigners must hold a valid passport with 6 months or more validity beyond the intended departure date from South Africa and have at least 2 blank pages. Proof of sufficient financial means. Travelers must show that they can financially sustain themselves for the duration in SA, to cover their expenses such as accommodation and transportation. Return or onward ticket. Travelers must have a return or onward ticket to their country of origin or a country they are legally authorized to enter. Yellow fever certificate if they are traveling from or intend on traveling through a yellow fever endemic region. Hotel booking. E-visa countries for South Africa. Who needs a South Africa online visa? Cameroon, China, Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, India, Iran, Mexico, Nigeria, Philippines, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Uganda. You can view visa exempt countries. South Africa to see if you are exempt from applying for a visa. Step-by-step guide on how to apply for an e-visa for South Africa. The process is easy and convenient and can be completed online. Follow these steps to ensure a smooth and successful application. 1. Create your profile. Start by creating a profile on the website. This will make it easier to track the status of your application and save your information for future visits. Complete and submit your form. Fill out the online application form with accurate and up-to-date information. Be sure to double-check all the information before submitting the form. Upload documentation. You are required to upload supporting documents. Make sure that all of the required documents are available in digital format before starting the application process. 2. Confirm payment. Once you have completed the online form, you need to upload a copy of the proof of payment so that your application can be processed. How much does a South African e-visa cost? The cost of obtaining an e-visa for South Africa is approximately $87. It is important to keep in mind that the fee is non-refundable, even if your visa application fee is denied. If you are using an immigration agency to facilitate the process for you, then there will be extra immigration service fees. The payment for your South Africa e-visa can be made via an electronic fund transfer. When considering the cost of obtaining the visa, it is also important to factor in any additional expenses, such as transportation and accommodation. By planning and budgeting for these expenses, you can ensure a smooth and successful trip to South Africa. How long does South Africa e-visa take? The processing time for an electronic visa can vary, but on average it takes between 5 to 10 business days to receive a visa. It is important to note that the processing for your South Africa electronic visa may be longer during peak travel seasons, so it is recommended to apply for your visa well in advance of your trip. To ensure a smooth and efficient processing time for your South African electronic visa, it is recommended to double-check all information provided on your application and ensure that all necessary documentation is uploaded and complete. By understanding the processing time for a South African electronic visa, you can plan your trip accordingly and avoid any unexpected delays or complications. What are the benefits of obtaining an e-visa for South Africa? It offers several benefits to travelers. Firstly, it streamlines the visa process and eliminates the need to visit a South African embassy, consulate, or diplomatic mission. Secondly, it allows for a quick and convenient process, as all documentation and payment can be completed online. It reduces the risk of a visa denial as applicants can ensure their eligibility and provide the necessary documentation before submitting. The digital visa for South Africa is more secure as it eliminates the need to physically handle sensitive personal and financial information. These benefits make the visa a preferred choice for many travelers visiting the country. No consulate or embassy visits are required to apply for the electronic visa. One of the major benefits of applying for the South Africa electronic visa is that you do not need to visit an embassy, consulate, or diplomatic mission in person. The entire process, from creating your profile to receiving your visa, can be completed online. This not only saves you time and effort, but also allows for a more convenient and hassle-free experience. You can apply for your South Africa electronic visa from the comfort of your own home or office, without the need for travel or appointment scheduling. By eliminating the need for in-person visits, the South African electronic visa streamlines the visa application process and makes it easier for travelers to plan their trips to South Africa. How long is the validity of the digital visa? The validity period of the visa ranges from 30 to 90 days. The exact validity period of your visa will be stated on your visa grant letter, which you will receive after your application is approved. If you would like to extend your stay, then you need to apply for a visa extension to South Africa for a visit visa extension. The extension entirely depends on your purposes and whether you can financially sustain yourself in RSA for the extension period. If you need to work, you need to apply for the Section 11 Work Permit South Africa. To ensure that your stay in RSA is legal and following your visa conditions, it is important to understand the validity period of your digital visa and to plan your trip accordingly. My country is not eligible for the e-visa for South Africa. What should I do? If your country is not eligible for the electronic visa, you will then need to apply for a traditional visa through the South Africa embassy, consulate, or diplomatic mission in your home country. This will likely involve visiting the embassy or consulate in person and submitting an application with the required documentation. Requirements for obtaining a traditional visa can vary based on the specific requirements of the embassy and the purpose of your trip. Frequently asked questions: is a visa available for South Africa? Yes, South Africa offers digital visas for eligible travelers from certain countries. See above. The visa allows eligible travelers entry into South Africa for tourism, business, or medical purposes. The visa must have been issued to you before you can enter the country. The digital visa program is subject to change and updates, and it is best for foreign citizens to check the official Department of Home Affairs directly for the most up-to-date information on eligible countries and when new ones are added. Can I enter multiple times with this digital visa? Yes, you can enter RSA multiple times with an visa, but you must apply for a multi-entry visa. It allows travelers to enter and exit South Africa multiple times during the validity period of the visa. Remember that the number of entries and the length of stay may be limited and depend on the type of multi-entry visa you have obtained. Can I apply for it while I am in South Africa? No, you cannot apply for the visa whilst in the country. The program is designed for travelers who are outside of South Africa at the time of the application. You must have a valid passport and be physically located in a country other than South Africa to apply. If you are already in South Africa and need to apply for a visa, you may need to apply for a different type of visa. Is it necessary to show my digital visa at the airport upon arrival in South Africa? Upon approval of your visa application, you will print out the visa notification letter and keep it inside your passport. Upon arrival at South Africa's ports of entry, you must present the notification letter, your passport, and in some cases your proof of adequate financial means. The original passport which you used during the process must be presented. The South African immigration officer will then inspect your travel documents and luggage before determining entry. It is crucial to cooperate with border control officers and provide answers to any questions they may have, as they are responsible for deciding entry into South Africa. Can I obtain an visa for South Africa at the border? No, an visa for South Africa cannot be obtained at the border. It must be applied for and obtained before arrival in South Africa. This means that it is important to plan and apply for your electronic visit visa in advance of your trip. Is the electronic visa process secure? The digital process for South Africa is designed to be secure and protect the personal information of applicants. The website uses encryption technology to protect sensitive information, and the forms only ask for information that is necessary for processing the visa. Can I make changes to my visa for South Africa after it has been issued? Once the visa for South Africa has been issued, it cannot be modified or altered. If there is an error or mistake in the information provided on the visa, you may need to apply for a new one and pay the visa fee again. It is important to double-check all information provided on the forms before submitting them to avoid having to go through this process. If you need to make changes to your travel plans after obtaining the visa, you may then need to apply for a new visa if the changes affect your eligibility for the original visa issued. Are there any restrictions on what I can do in South Africa with the visa? Yes, there are restrictions on activities that can be performed in South Africa with a visa. The visa is issued for specific purposes such as tourism and business, to name a few. The holder of the visa may not engage in work, study, or reside in South Africa for an extended period. It is important to check the specific conditions attached to the visa issued, as restrictions and conditions can vary. In general, the visa is intended for short-term stays, and any activities that fall outside of these parameters may result in the visa being revoked. Do I have to enter South Africa on the specified date indicated on my approved visa? And what happens if I fail to do so? There is a date specified on your notification letter, after which the visa will become invalid if you have not entered on that day. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that you can enter South Africa within the specified time frame to avoid having to reapply and pay that fee online again. Do I have to get separate digital visas for each person traveling with me to South Africa? Yes, each person in the group must have their visa, and when applying online as a group, you'll need to specify the type of visa required for each person. The results of the group application will be provided for each individual in the group. How much bank balance is required for a South Africa visa? The amount of bank balance required for the visa is about $3,500.00. The Department of Home Affairs requires proof of sufficient financial means to cover the costs of your stay, including accommodation, transportation, and daily expenses. Can I get a refund if my visa is denied, or I do not make use of the visa or cancel my application? Depending on the stage of the process, if you cancel before you submit, then you would be refunded. In general, processing fees are non-refundable, and if your visa is denied, you will not be eligible for a refund. If you do not make use of your visa, you will not be refunded for the processing fees and will have to reapply and pay the online fees again.